Coming off an exciting series win in Toronto, Atlanta's 9-game road trip continues tonight. Red-hot Nick Markakis and a dominating Braves defense face a New York Mets club off to its best start at home in franchise history. It's an early season battle atop the National League East. It's the Braves and Mets. Game 1 next. The Mets are undefeated at home. They've won 8 straight, and they lead the East. Tonight, they host the Braves in Game 1 of a National League Eastern showdown. Hi again, friends. Chip and Joe. Welcome back to Braves Baseball. Great start for the Atlanta road trip. They took 2 out of 3 from the Toronto Blue Jays, but another challenge awaits. The Mets are playing their best ball, a 10-3 start, a franchise best.
Yeah, but a lot has changed for this ball club, the Mets, since the Braves saw them in Atlanta, where they took 2 out of 3 from the Braves. They've had a couple of losses in recent days that are going to be hard to overcome. So the Braves are hopefully catching the Mets at the right time. Yeah, they've got a good record, best record in the National League at 10-3. But recently, David Wright on the DL for 15 days at least with a hamstring injury. Travis d'Arnaud hit with a pitch yesterday. Broken hand, out at least 3 weeks, at least. Jerry Blevins, left-handed pitcher who was pitching lights out for them, hit with a line drive. He's going to be out at least 6 weeks. So this ball club is definitely shorthanded. Behind the plate at third base, 2 big holes.
They have a much different look, and Atlanta fans are hoping Trevor Cahill has much different results. He was not successful in his first start for the Braves. What do you expect from him in Game 2 as a Brave tonight?
I expect him to be sharper. I think he's put in a lot of work on the side in between starts. That last start for him in Atlanta, he hadn't pitched in about 2 weeks, so he was rusty. Hopefully tonight he's a little sharper. As Freddie Gonzalez said, he was probably throwing too hard in Atlanta, and his ball wasn't sinking. The Braves certainly know all about Jonathan Neese. Hopefully they can do some more damage to him.
Another day, another lineup for Freddie Gonzalez. We'll break that down for you in just a few minutes. But when we come back, the Braves pay tribute. They visited the 9/11 Museum here in New York City. That and more as we continue from Gotham after this.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
there are just so many ways to entertain yourself when it comes to an off day. Well, for the Braves yesterday, they decided for them to go down to the National Memorial for the 9/11 Memorial Museum. It was a plan devised by A.J. Przinsky, who really just wanted to do something meaningful with the day off. So about 20 members of the team, players and coaches, joined him, and were really touched by how well the museum was done. A.J. told me it's hard to even describe because it's such a tragic event remembered, but a celebration of the heroes that were involved. See, Johnny Gomes also was one of the guys who took the field trip down to the Financial District, about a 20-minute ride from the team hotel. I asked Johnny how beneficial it is for the guys to spend some time together in their off days, and he said, you know, when we're away from the field, that's really when we do the most talking about baseball. So it was a great opportunity for the Braves to do that yesterday on their off day. Coming up, we've got lineups and first pitch for you live from Citi Field here in New York after the break. Stay with us.
Citi Field, the home of the Mets, 63 degrees as we see New York for the second time here in the 2015 campaign. The Braves took 2 out of 3 from New York back in Atlanta. They love to do that or better in this 3-game series as the Mets are red hot and lead the division with a 10-3 mark. Different look to the Braves lineup again tonight, Joe. You pointed out on the bus ride over from Manhattan. Johnny Gomes will split up all those lefties at the top of the order for the Braves tonight.
Yeah, it'll keep Jonathan Nice from getting on a roll against a bunch of lefties in a row. So it'll be fun to watch tonight. We keep talking about versatility and maneuverability. Well, certainly Freddie Gonzalez taking advantage of that.
And the starting nine is always brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors, and that's the man the Braves bats hope to beat up on tonight in Game 1.
Jonathan Nice, 28 years old now, 6'3", 220 out of Defiance, Ohio. He's in his 6th year in the big leagues, and against the Braves here at Citi Field, he's 4-4. Better numbers here than at Turner Field with a 250 average. He did pitch against Atlanta back on April 10th, his first start of the year. He got no decision. Only gave up 3 runs, but only 1 was earned, and that was a leadoff homer to Cameron Maben. He went 5 innings. His last start, he beat the Phillies, went 6 1/3 innings, gave up only 1 run.
And here's the Mets defense behind Jonathan Nice tonight. It is a much different look. Michael Cuddyers in left, Lagares, a Gold Glover in center, Curtis Granderson in right, Duda and Eric Campbell, who's in for the injured David Wright. Mr. Plawecki, Kevin Plawecki, the rookie catcher who takes over for Travis d'Arnaud. This is his big league debut tonight. And Cameron Maybin and the Braves ready to go as you see the defense presented by CPI Security. Maybin, Markakis, and Gomes in the first. And a strike, says Jerry Meals, tonight's home plate umpire. Joe mentioned the leadoff homer for Cameron, April 10th. One of his 2 homers as a Brave. Also a shot over the Mets dugout, fouling out of play.
And there was no doubt about it. That leadoff homer at Turner Field. 1 of 2 hit by Cameron so far. He could use some hits though. He's just 1 for 11 in Toronto. That one game where he got rung up a couple of times by the umpire on just ridiculous pitches. So a fresh start here.
Swing and a miss. That's been an issue for Cameron so far. A lot of strikeouts. That's 11 of them so far this year. And on 5 pitches, he's the game's first out.
And you don't want that from your leadoff guy. You need contact.
Contact's not been a problem for Nick Markakis, has it?
No.
Great series in Toronto. And Nick, 12 hits in his last 24 at bats. 5th best batting average in the league at .375. The start of play tonight. A knee-high strike, 0-1. Line drive towards center, but that's the wrong guy to hit it to. Lagares to his left. Nick hit it sharply, but he's the second out.
Jonathan Neese's fastball is 86 to 90. Has a cutter. Also a curveball and a changeup. But if the Braves don't know him by now, they're never going to know him. This is his 20th career start against them.
He's been a model of consistency for the Mets as Johnny Gomes greets him and takes a ball low. 3 earned runs or less in 32 of his last 35 starts. For Jonathan Neese, only 2 earned runs in his first 2 starts. Popped away from Plawecki because it hit Johnny Gomes on the way by. So it hit batsman with 2 outs.
He's given up 2 earned runs or less in 6 straight. Johnny was trying to jog that off, but I think it plunked him pretty good on the knee.
You know he's not going to rub.
No.
Not a chance. So he's at first with 2 outs. Here's Freddie Freeman and a vicious cut. And fouled away for a strike. 5 hits in Freddie's last 11 at bats, including 2 homers. And he's been hitting the ball to dead center for about a week. It's a tough place to hit it out, especially here in New York, where it's 408 feet to straightaway center. But they have tried to make things a little more friendly for the left-hand hitters and the opposite field right-hand batters. Swing and a miss. Neese has his second strikeout. He's throwing hard. He's off to a good start. Let's see what Trevor Cahill has in store in the bottom of the scoreless first.
brought to you by your Atlanta area Mazda dealers.
They're doing big business at the Shake Shack here at Citi Field in New York. Braves didn't score in the top of the first. Here come the Mets red hot. They've won 8 straight and are perfect 7-0 at home. One reason why Michael Kadire is on a tear. He's their cleanup man in left field. Different look. No David Wright, no Travis d'Arnaud for the Mets offense.
Trevor Cahill makes his second start as an Atlanta Brave, 27 years old, 6'4", 240 out of Oceanside, California. 57% of his outs since 2010 have been ground ball outs. That's vitally important to him. He's got to get the ball on the ground. To do that, he's got to have his sinker.
There's a good start. A ground ball to second. And an easy peg takes care of Curtis Granderson.
His 4 keys to pitching success, just that. Maybe he was throwing too hard in Atlanta because his ball was straight. So with less rest, maybe he can back off just a little bit on his fastball and arm angle. You can't create sink by trying to drop your arm and trying to throw a little sidearm. You still got to stay on top of the baseball. So that will be important to him tonight to maintain those mechanics.
Here's Juan Lagares. He's at 275. It's a good strategy for Cahill to get it on the ground. The Braves have committed 1 error in 108 innings so far this year. And that one off the plate. Even count.
Talked about Lagares in Atlanta about how they'd like for him to hit up at near the top of the order, if not at the top. And out of necessity, now he is.
There's another ground ball. Simmons to his right, loads up and got him by a step. Lagares hitting second because David Wright's hurt. And Braves defense presented by CPI Security. It has been terrific in the first 2 weeks. Gomes, Maven, and Markakis in the outfield. Phil Gosselin gets a start with a lefty on the mound tonight. Chris Johnson back in there at third. He wears out lefties, and Christian Bethancourt back in harness for game 1. Here's Lucas Duda. Almost a year ago to the day, the Mets traded Ike Davis to the Pirates and said, Lucas, first base is your job. And he rewarded New York with a 30-homer year last year. He's at .347 with 6 multi-hit games. And 3 ground balls. Freeman to Cahill, and Trevor Cahill
good start.
Started perfectly. On we go to the second inning. 0-0. Top of the second inning, Chris Johnson leads off for the Braves, and he's tonight's T-Mobile game changer.
And he can certainly change a game against left-handed pitching. Since 2013, a .387 mark, huge on-base percentage and slugging percentage, and the highest average in Major League Baseball with at least 250 plate appearances since that 2013 season. You love having him in there against the lefties.
Against whom he's 3 for 8 in hitting duty this year. These are his overall numbers. Pretty impressive. Johnson, Simmons, Bethancourt, and he's delivers a strike. What's most noticeable about Chris Johnson in the first 2 weeks, albeit 2 weeks in which he hasn't played every day, his strikeouts are down. He's making much more consistent contact at the plate.
Well, it could be just that change in approach from spring training, not just his hands, but thinking more about hitting the ball up the middle. Both of these pitchers working quickly.
Bases cleared. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Chris. And a little number out to the right side. Murphy has it and got it by a step. 1 out for Andrelton Simmons. He's moving up in the batting order for the Braves, up to 6th with his good work at the plate of late. That's 5 for his last 15.
It's not that Neese has been striking out a lot of guys over the stretch where he has only given up 2 runs or less in his last 6 starts. He's given up 16 hits this year in 11 innings coming in. 314 average against him. Strike
foul by Simmons. Strike 1. Andrelton 4 hits, 3 RBIs against Mets pitching so far. And he takes low. Even count. High pop, shallow center. Lagares is there. He's got it. And that's out number 2.
Story on Kevin Plawecki, the catcher just called up. He's one of their top prospects and was a #1 pick just a couple of years ago, 2012, out of Purdue. 6'2", 210. Had not gotten off to a real good offensive start in Las Vegas, but a good catch and throw guy, and one that with a little experience.
A shot by Bethancourt to right, and Granderson tracks it down.
A little experience, he might put some pressure on Darno to remain the catcher.
Neese a 1-2-3 second. Six hitters coming up. Terry Collins certainly is hoping history repeats itself.
Yeah, 2006 they got to the NLCS and lost there after winning 97 games. And back in that magical season of 1986, they started 10-3 and won 108 games and won the World Series. So maybe a good omen for their ball club. They're hoping so.
And frankly, he could use one after all the injuries the Mets have gone through. It's really a remarkable first 2 weeks for this Mets ball club.
It's a long line of guys, even beyond what we've already mentioned just in the last several days. It's Darno with a splint on his hand.
Cahill with a first pitch strike to Michael Kadire, running a 7-game hitting streak.
If he misses, that's where he ought to miss, in the dirt.
Down and in for Kadire, 2 balls and a strike. Another ground ball. Chris Johnson's turn. Cahill's 4 for 4 on groundouts to start the game.
He missed down and in with a good sinker. Came back, had a little more of a plate on this pitch, but look how it goes down. So nothing Kadire could do there but top it. Good start for Cahill.
Daniel Murphy, the batter. And a belt-high strike.
Off to an unusually slow start for him.
Just a 156 average. Remember, he was sidelined with a hamstring problem in the latter stages of spring training. The Mets were worried they'd have to DL him. And slashed out of play, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He's not striking out. He's just not finding any holes. He's only struck out 2 times in 51 plate appearances. That's the best in the National League.
Ground ball to short. Cahill is executing the game plan to perfection so far.
Well, I know he had a couple of side sessions, at least one side session in Toronto with Roger McDowell right there they were talking about arm angle, they were talking about front shoulder. So hopefully that work they put in the bullpen is paying dividends already.
And I think he made a great point too. He hadn't pitched in 12 days by the time he debuted for Atlanta. So some extra work. And work with Roger McDowell paying off in the early moments of the game tonight. This is Eric Campbell. Seen him before when David Wright's been hurt. He's 4 for 16 with 3 RBIs. He's been on base in each of the first 5 games since his call up from AAA Las Vegas. 2-1. At the knees and a full count. Can Simmons get that one? No. Ground ball, but it sneaks through to center field for the game's first hit. And here's an unforgettable moment.
Now Kevin Pilecki, his first big league at bat, just got called up.
Takes a breaking ball high. 1 ball, no strikes. Milwaukee out of Carmel, Indiana. Grew up a big Cubs fan. And played for Purdue. Lined and caught at first. Sharply hit, but Freddie Freeman at the bag. And he retires Plawecki for the first out of his big league career. We head to the third, still scoreless. Top three scoreless. 8-9-1 coming up for the Braves against Jonathan Nice. Both pitchers, Joe, working at warp speed so far in the opening innings.
Yeah, they'll keep their infielders sharp, that's for sure, and that's what Cahill wants to see happen, is these guys on their toes if he's getting all those ground balls.
Chance for Phil Gosselin to get some action. Braves don't figure to see a left-handed starting pitcher the rest of this road trip, so Freddie Gonzalez wants Phil to get some at-bats to stay sharp. It certainly was against the Mets. Game-winning RBIs back in Atlanta. That's Phil's lone hit. He's 1 for 10.
You're taking a lot of fastballs, I know that. Freddie Freeman about the only guy that went up there hacking at the first one.
There's an off-speed pitch. It missed badly. 2 balls, 2 strikes. A deep count. Braves have 1 base runner. Johnny Gomes hit by a pitch with 2 outs in the first. And a second base runner is a leadoff walk to Gosselin.
After an 0-2 count.
See if Cahill can help himself. Have 6 sacrifice bunts in their first 12 games. Stab try there by Cahill is fouled away. Strike 1.
Braves have been very good in this situation. They're 5 for 6 in sacrifice opportunities.
Now it's 0-2. And the breaking ball is missed. And Cahill's down on strikes. That's 3 punch outs for Nice.
Never got the bat out in front of him. It was always angled kind of over toward the Met dugout. Got some work to do there.
So back to the top, and Cameron Maybin. He struck out swinging to start the game for the Braves. One ball, no strikes. Something's got to give in this series. The Mets are 7-0 at home. The Braves are 5-1 on the road.
Braves are 6-1 when they score first, too. It'd be nice to get one on the board right here.
Another one of those fastballs. Even count. The second series this year against the Mets, the Braves will miss Jacob deGrom and Matt Harvey.
It's a good pitch to hit and run on. Might be something to help get Maybin going. No action, though. Sometimes a hit and run play causes a hitter to stay on the ball a little longer, track it a little longer, try not to do so much with it, and have one thing in mind, and that's to hit it to the right side behind the runner.
It's pulled foul toward the Braves dugout. Maybin is still alive. Popped up. And into the seats. Cameron will see another pitch. It's 2-2 still. First. And Maybin took the call, third strike. Back-to-back strikeouts for Nice after the leadoff walk. And now the Braves right fielder Nick Markakis bats. Nick hit it squarely, but right at Juan Lagares for the game's second out.
Is really working fast, and he's working quick to the plate.
You saw a strike one to 9 of the first 11 hitters tonight. Even count for Markakis, 2 outs. And a shot toward Campbell at third. He deflects it to the bare hand and can't come up cleanly. Campbell played it to the side, and that cost him dearly. That's an error, and the inning's still alive for Johnny Gomes.
Couldn't quite corral that flip out of his glove. His first error since getting called up, and that's the 8th error on the Mets.
Good teams take advantage of extra outs. Let's see what Johnny can do with 2 outs here and 2 aboard in the 3rd inning.
And the Braves have done a good job of that. Given extra outs, they tend to make you pay.
Johnny's 2 for 3 this year with runners in scoring position. Driven toward right center field, but Granderson had him played perfectly. Gomes hit it hard, and the Braves are out of luck in the third inning. 2 men left. 8-9-1 for the Mets. No score. Fans, come see the Braves take on the Nationals next Monday through Wednesday and take advantage of some great ticket offers. Sport Clips $8 Mondays get you a terrace level seat for $8. And the Coca-Cola $12 Tuesday deal gets you club level seats for just $12. Go to Braves.com/specials for the lowest ticket prices and the best deals of the 2015 season. Wilmer Flores starts the Mets third. All but one ball in play for Trevor Cahill on the ground. And knee high outside corner. Good pitch. 0-2. Back to the mound. Should be easy. And it is.
Got to be ready if you're Freddie Freeman. You're likely going to get a sinker thrown over there too.
Yeah, Cahill didn't exactly lob that to first.
No, he didn't.
Another ground ball out. Brings up Jonathan Neese, who has a 4-game hitting streak, believe it or not, dating back to last season. The last Met with a 5-game hitting streak, Mike Hampton, 15 years ago. Fly ball toward left. Nice running catch by Gomes, takes care of Neese. That's out number 2.
Mike Hampton could hit.
Anderson will take his time and allow Neese to get back to the dugout. Anderson rounded out to second to start the game. Another slow start for Curtis. Hitting 143. He had 145 last April, but rallied to hit 20 home runs. One ball, one strike. Toward left. Gomes retreats. And he's got it to retire the side. Fans, we at Fox Sports are broadcasting with heavy hearts tonight. Our colleague Steve Burns, longtime Fox NASCAR broadcaster, passed away after a lengthy battle with cancer. David Hill, the senior executive vice president of 20th Century Fox, said he was the Mr. Rogers of NASCAR. A warm voice everyone trusted because of his knowledge, sense of humor, and easygoing nature. He was a consummate professional, father, and friend, and he'll be missed by many. He's survived by his wife Karen and his son Bryson, and our thoughts and prayers go out to them, and we'll always remember Steve Burns.
Already top of the fourth inning. One of the guys who likes to follow the Braves on the road is Tom Glavine, but when he comes back to New York, he kind of has to come back incognito.
Love the Sox. Way to go, Tom. Here's Freddie Freeman as he starts the fourth inning. Freddie struck out to end the Braves first, and Yanks one foul pass. Terry Pendleton. It's an even count. Not much of a surprise that we have a tie game against the Mets. Last couple of years, this has been as evenly matched a series head to head as you can have. National League Eastern play. One ball, two strikes.
You know, it's funny. People talk about the rivalries in the NL East where the Braves are concerned. There's always been a rivalry with the Mets dating back many years. People try to make a big rivalry out of the Braves and Marlins because of proximity. And actually with Washington really coming to the forefront, that rivalry has grown. But this is the one that's been ongoing. And take a look. 21-20 since 2013. The Braves are 10-9 here over that stretch.
Freddie Freeman kills the Mets. David Wright kills the Braves. I mean, it's a lot of fun to watch.
Very even numbers.
Swept off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Freddie's down on strikes for a second time tonight. Don't see that too often. And Nice already with 5 strikeouts in the game.
Yeah, he only had 6 in his first 2 starts total, but really using his fastball a lot and putting it in good spots. Braves have taken a lot of fastball strikes too, though.
See if they change their pattern now with Chris Johnson. Nope, fastball right down Broadway. Strike 1. We've said it a million times. Best pitch in the game is a well-placed fastball. Nice has done that. First 3 1/3.
Yeah, but that first one, man, to a bunch of guys has been right down the middle.
Line drive, Chris Johnson to right field. There's the first Braves hit.
Didn't take that one, though. Always good to see him hit the ball hard the other way. He did the same thing in Toronto. Didn't have a ton of hits to show for it, but he had a sacrifice fly to right field. Went 2 for 10. Ball away, and he took it that way.
That was vintage Chris Johnson 2 years ago.
You bet.
So 1 out single. Hits are even at 1. Anderson Simmons bats. popped out to center in the Braves' second inning. Campbell guards the line at third. In the dirt. Now stopped by Plawecki. That saved a base. 2-0 the count. Up the middle and through. Boy, Murphy got no jump at all on that ball.
Sure didn't. Almost like he got caught leaning the other way, anticipating maybe a pitch being hit to right field. He got zero. He's kind of on his heels a little bit.
So back-to-back singles has the inning set up for Christian Bethancourt. For his last 11.
Yeah, but he had the hardest hit ball first trip through the first trip through the lineup. He hit the hardest ball of anybody, that line drive to right.
Strike one. As Joe said earlier, Braves are 6-1 this year when they score the game's first run. They have an excellent chance here in the fourth inning. Bethancourt, then Gosselin. Oh, 0-2. Breaking ball popped up shallow right. Granderson's going to get there though. And there's the second out. So the Christians hit the ball to the right side twice. Nothing to show for that. And here's Phil Gosselin, 8th place hitter, with Cahill waiting on deck. That's all about Phil Gosselin with 2 out hits. He walked his first time up. And Simmons with back-to-back hits. And ground ball left side. Campbell's got it. Scoops and fires. And a close play at first, but in time.
Good hustle.
That retires the side. Braves will run the bases hard. 2 hits against Neese. Nothing to show for it. Home fourth. Still no score.
Braves have had more base runners. Neese also hit a batter. Atlanta's left 5 men on base. But Trevor Cahill's the story right now. Only 1 hit allowed through the first 10 batters And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 ground ball outs out of the first 9. That is a great sign for him.
And already the deepest he's taken the ball as a Brave. Remember, he went just 2 1/3 innings in his start against the Marlins. Second time through the order now in the 4th inning. Lagares, Duda, and Michael Kadire here in the Mets' 4th.
I love playing behind guys like this. I loved it because I knew every pitch was a good chance it's going to be put in play. There wasn't a whole lot of messing around, going to deep counts.
Lagares aggressive in the count. Fouls the first away for a swinging strike. As I said, the Braves have the best defensive team in the league. It makes sense. Let him hit it.
You bet.
And Lagares just missed a double. Hey, great handle of a tricky hop off the tarp by the ball boy down the left field line. That thing was humming. It was a BB. Pitch, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Right off the end of the bat.
You and I have bragged on Lagares and how much we enjoy watching him play center field. In my opinion, the best center fielder in the National League. If he gets his bat going, if he can just keep working to become a better hitter, use the whole field, don't think that he's got to hit home runs. He's got a bright future, all around future for Juan Lagares.
Swing and a miss. Cahill got him swinging. That's his first strikeout. Lagares whiffs for the 10th time this year. 1 out.
That was something up and away. Had a little sliding action on it. Cutter.
Lucas Duda, the batter. He bounced out to first in the first. Braves have a shift on for him. 3 defenders on the right side of the Atlanta infield defense.
Good changeup. One of the knocks on Duda was whether or not he would improve his numbers against left-handed pitching, and so far so good. He's 5 for 9 against lefties. A lot of that against Atlanta.
Yeah, if he can hit them, he might hit 40 homers. This guy has enormous power. The shorter fences in right center field in New York, that's going to do nothing but help him. Bent around the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Fly ball toward right, and Markakis grabs it. There's out number 2.
It's still 408 to center. It's a long poke to straightaway center, but they've made this part of the fence from the Gulf side all the way around to the 370 mark. It almost bows out into the field. There's more room in the bullpen, but where the fence was right up against the pin back there and was about 390 where the 380 sign is, it kind of curves into the field.
Well, they had to give the hitter something in this park. This was just a gigantic pitcher's park. Broken bat by Kadire. Chris Johnson charged, throws, and Freeman dropped it at first. The barrel of the bat sailed over Chris Johnson's head as he came in and charged the ball. And Kadire is aboard with 2 outs.
Sawed him off. Good concentration by Chris to ignore the bat. He got enough on this throw. Well, a little short up to Freddie. Boy, that's a rarity. That Freeman didn't come up with it.
Chris Johnson is charged with a throwing error, the second error for the Braves this year. They'll bring up Murphy. But your point about the fences, you see the black wall in the outfield. That was the original home run distance here at Citi Field. Like old Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego. Had to hit it in the seats to get it out.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with that. But every year they have had to make some sort of adjustment.
One ball, no strikes.
The guy who's paid the biggest price is David Wright.
That's terrific. Opposite field power to right center field. You figure his homer totals should improve. That friendlier porch about 15 feet closer for him by the bullpens. 2-0 count. And Murphy takes ball 3. Deep short. Simmons fires to second. Close play and in time. Gosselin got there in a nick of time as Andrelton Simmons goes to his right and picks off Murphy's shot at a 2-out base hit. We are through 4 complete in New York. Great pitchers duel. Still scoreless. Game 1. Grand Central Terminal in Midtown Manhattan. What a beautiful piece of architecture that is.
Who designed that? You know?
I don't.
Have to look it up.
Yeah, we can look that up.
That's pretty spectacular.
Great place to people watch. There's a million of them in this town, but see humanity walk by. Cup of coffee and the newspaper, that's a great spot to hang out. Cahill takes a strike. 2-1. High fly ball toward right, and Granderson will catch that. He's off to a good start in his 5th inning. 1 up, 1 down for Cameron Maybin. Couple of strikeouts for Cameron tonight. got the answer to who designed Grand Central for you. It's a bouncing ball to Campbell. Hop. 2 outs.
Okay.
Covers 48 acres, 44 platforms, more than any other railway station in the world. Didn't know that. It was designed by a man named John B. Snook. It opened in 1871, and it's been rebuilt twice, 1913 and from 1994 to 2000.
Well, all of those ramps and tunnels for the subways and trains, they had a lot of foresight.
A shot to left by Markakis, who continues to punish National League pitching and the New York Mets in particular.
Slow breaking ball, waited on it to get to the plate, didn't bail on it. Maybe a little 2-out lightning here, this part of the order.
He missed with a fastball that time.
Yeah, that's a generous call. Mets are playing Johnny to pull, really more like they're bunching the outfield. But Granderson especially over toward right center. A lot of room between Granderson and the line. And that's why he was in perfect position to catch that line shot that Johnny hit for his last time up.
Fastball. If he's thrown more than 5 breaking balls tonight, I'd be shocked.
And it seemed like most of them came to Gosselin when he got ahead of him 0-2 and then walked him. A couple of breaking balls, a change up.
Here comes the 2-2 pitch. That's down and in. It's a similar pattern we're going to see on Wednesday. On Thursday with Bartolo Colon pitches. 83% of his pitches are fastball. I bet East has the same percentage at least tonight. Markakis will be off to the races with 2 outs. Scoreless game. We're in the 5th inning. Braves and Mets game 1. Goes, and the pitch is low and outside. Close call, and it went Gomes' way.
I thought that was a better pitch than the one he called earlier in the account.
Up Freddie Freeman.
Not a bad pitch, but he got the call. Catcher was set up inside, so he got punished a little bit for that too. Love having Freddie up. I know he's already fanned twice, but love having him up in this situation. And the Braves, 3rd in the National League, hitting with runners in scoring position, coming in at 305.
Tied for 2nd with 4 homers this season. Hot shot and speared by Duda. He's got it, and he's out of 5th inning trouble. Campbell, Plawecki, and Flores coming up for the Mets. few as 18 games. Become an A-list member today and receive exclusive benefits customized to meet your unique needs. You'll also get a chance to secure your seats this year for SunTrust Park. A-list prices increase next Friday, so visit Braves.com/A-list or call 404-577-9100 to join the A-list today. From the A-list to the DL list for the Mets.
Look at this. Vic Black has suffered a setback. He's got some problems with his neck, much like what Nick Markakis had. You know about Blevins and d'Arnaud. Henry Mejia had some elbow trouble, but then he got suspended because he failed a drug test. Dummy. They're hoping to get Bobby Parnell back soon. They really need him in the bullpen. Change up. Woo. And then Zach Wheeler, you probably know too, the Atlanta suburb of Atlanta native. Zach Wheeler had to have Tommy John surgery. And David Wright.
Yet through it all, Terry Collins' club has won 10 of its first 13 games.
Yeah, and another guy in there that was heavily counted on as their #1 lefty out of the bullpen was Joey Edgin. He had to have Tommy John surgery. So when they got Blevins in a trade with Washington right near the end of spring training, he was doing a terrific job for them. And lo and behold, he gets hit with a line drive yesterday and breaks his arm.
Gale just missed Eric Campbell, and the count runs full to the Mets third baseman. And ball 4. First leadoff man on for New York tonight, and that's the first walk for Cahill. First time he was up with much. And here's Kevin Milwaukee. I mispronounced his hometown earlier. I was thinking about California. It's not Carmel, Indiana, but Carmel, Indiana. So apologies.
I didn't catch it. You know why?
Because you're not a Hoosier?
No, because I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know it was pronounced differently.
Yeah, we got a Hoosier in the truck. He about jumped out of his skin.
I see. Well, I got to quit putting the L in the middle of his name. It's not Pawlecki, it's Plawecki.
Simmons can't get it. His first big league hit, and if ever there was poetic justice, how many hits did Edwardson Simmons take away from Travis d'Arnaud? He couldn't get that one.
Always a great thrill and worth a good smile. And yes, he'll get that ball back.
So trouble afoot in the Mets' 5th. 2 on, nobody out for Wilmer Flores. Ball, no strikes.
During this 8-game winning streak for the Mets, they've been hitting the ball real well. Everybody in their lineup on this homestand has been outstanding. Flores 5 for 17 with 2 homers.
Walk and a single begins the New York 5th. The 2-0 pitch is nowhere near.
Really pulled that one. And now he needs a ground ball at somebody.
Line drive left field, base hit. Gomes comes up cleanly. And all hands are safe as the Mets have loaded the bases with nobody out.
Leadoff walks can get a lot of trouble started. Like he took a little something off that, but left it up about knee high. And it was hit hard. And you got the pitcher up. It's not easy to put on a squeeze with a left-handed pitcher, and with nobody out, not likely anyway.
He's put it in play his first time up. Fly ball to left. He tries to help himself with bases loaded and nobody out.
Won't help if you won't let the infield help. All of a sudden he's kind of lost that release point, and the bullpen will get ready.
Two balls, no strikes to the pitcher.
He's aiming those, Chip. Nowhere near the same delivery, nowhere near the same free arm action. Pulled that fastball to Flores and really missed by trying to aim that 3-2-0 pitch to Nice.
Three balls and a strike. Ground ball towards second. Gosselin kicked it. All hands are safe and the Mets lead.
Well, nothing Trevor Cahill can do about this. He got what he wanted. And the Braves, who had only made one error in their first 12 games, have made errors in back-to-back innings. He had taken his eye off of it just a little bit too quick.
Ian Thomas up from the minor leagues with Andrew McKirahan's suspension. Brandon Kinniff also up and throwing. 1-0 Mets. Nobody out. This all started with a leadoff walk, and now Granderson bats. 1-1. A 21 pitch inning. Sharply hit and down the right field line. Plawecki scores. Here comes Flores around third. He's on his way to third. Curtis Granderson drives home two more, and the Mets now lead by 3.
First 2 RBIs of the year for Curtis Granderson. Pitch that was up. Sinker that was supposed to get a ground ball did, but it was up and hit hard and between Freeman and the bag. That error very costly. Still nobody out.
And Juan Lagares, the hitter. Been able to get ahead of anybody this inning. That's been a big difference maker too.
Remember I mentioned something about arm angle. It's like his arm angle has dropped too, Chip, trying to create some sink. that happens, if your arm angle drops and you're trying to create it, it typically flattens out, and it's hard to get the ball down. Kind of the opposite of what you're trying to accomplish.
A 3-run fifth continues for the Mets. Ball and a strike.
A little more three-quarter than he was earlier in the game.
Back where it came from. It's 4-0. And that's going to be the end of the line for Trevor Cahill. 4+ innings, 5 hits. 1 walk, 1 strikeout. The missed double play opportunity certainly changed the tenor of the inning. And it's 4+ and done for Trevor Cahill. Duda and Kanayer coming up for the Mets. Service is celebrating 13 years. Watch every out-of-market game live or on demand in true HD on over 400 mobile and connected devices. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widgets, and more every night on every device. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Last season, Ian Thomas made the Braves roster out of spring training. Overall, he was in 16 ball games. This year started in Double-A at Mississippi. Got called up to Gwinnett on April 13th. But all in all, over 4 games, 6 1/3 innings of scoreless innings pitched, only 1 hit allowed.
Well, a test for him. The new and improved Lucas Duda has done much better work against left-handed pitchers this year. Duda tonight is 0 for 2. Mets have runners first and second. Still nobody out. 4 runs are in. Last year, Duda hit 180 against lefties. As Joe mentioned earlier, he's 5 for 9 against them so far in 2015. Ground ball to second. Gosselin's got that one, and Simmons turns the double play. Just with doctor order, Thomas broke Duda's bat. Runner to third, 2 outs. Michael Kadire will be the batter. And Christina, I'm sure Ian's thrilled to be back in the show tonight.
Absolutely, Chip. Earlier, Freddie Gonzalez spoke about how being cut early from spring training, he took it as a challenge. All reports from the minor league says he took it as a challenge. He went to work, a tremendous work ethic overall, didn't pout about it, and wanted to improve. And Freddie Gonzalez said it's nice to know what we've seen him before and what to expect from him.
Well, always good to get that first batter faced with men aboard. That's what Thomas did with a double play ball. Now he faces Michael Kadire, who's 0 for 2. Former batting champion. Signed by the Mets this offseason.
Much to the chagrin of Chris Johnson.
One ball, one strike. At the inside corner. Now 2-1.
Some movement on it. Ian's always had more than a strikeout per inning pitched in the minor leagues and even in the big leagues last year. 13 punch outs and 10 plus innings.
Now it's full count. Not close. First and third, and the Mets will send their 9th man to the plate in the inning. It's Danny Murphy. Murphy, a prospective free agent after an all-star season last year. 72 hits for him last season at a .289 average. And a fly ball shallow left. Simmons and Johnson converge near the stands. That is in foul ground. Chris Johnson's got it. And that will end the inning. Mets send 9 to the plate. 4 of them score. Jonathan East a big lead. 4-0 New York.
Delta Airlines, and Mazda.
with Joe Simpson and Christina Fitzpatrick. Chip Carey from New York. There are your unhappy totals through 5. The Mets with a 4-run fifth have chased Trevor Cahill, as you see on the Mazda game summary.
Yeah, a real shame the way things turned around, because Cahill had a one-hit shutout through 4 innings, walked the leadoff batter in the 5th, and everything caved in.
Let's see if Atlanta can start something against Nice and the Mets bullpen, perhaps. The Braves have 3 hits.
Well, if we thought Nice was throwing a lot of fastballs before, we're liable to see a whole bunch now.
Let's try to win their 9th in a row and go to 8-0 at home. Toward third. Campbell gives ground. He had the line protected and made a strong throw. 1 out. The 8-game winning streak for the Mets is their longest since they won 10 in a row back in 2008.
Doing just fine tonight, but they do have their challenges in the upcoming weeks. Missing a couple of key regulars.
Here's the impressive run for New York, who after this Braves series have a hugely important series coming up. The Yankees will take on the Mets. Battle for Big Apple supremacy.
Right now the Mets are stealing the headlines.
They're going to have their big boys ready for the Bronx Bombers. Harvey and DeGrom will pitch the first 2 games of that Subway series. Both of those men have been almost unhittable. Harvey gave up a few runs in his last start. He was really sick. He'd take antibiotics before he made his start and gutted his way through 6 innings for the Mets. He's only walked 1 guy and struck out 24 in his first 18 innings this year. That's a pretty good ratio.
And I'm pretty sure that walk came in the first inning of the season.
Three 2 count for Andrelton Simmons. And that's out of play. We were talking about the Mets bullpen with their hopes of getting Bobby Parnell back. How about the job that Juris Familia's done? He saved 6 games for them. He is suspension. He's got some guys stepping up for him in the early weeks. And to put it in perspective, the Mets 10-3. If they play .500 baseball the rest of the way, they'd win 85 games, and they'd be right in the thick of.
Absolutely, put them right in the hunt.
Yep. And that's up and away to Simmons, a 1-out walk. Bears have gotten 3 passes from Nice tonight, including a hit batsman. Not including a hit batsman, I should say.
Yeah, they've left 7 men on base, and that was worrisome. It's especially worrisome now with 4 on the board for the Mets, as Andrelton perhaps caught a break there.
Bethancourt 0 for 2. Bouncing ball, foul at third. Another chance for Granderson in right. 2 outs. And Phil Gosselin is the batter. Washington's winning tonight. Big matchup with the Cardinals. They lead 1-0 in the 5th inning at Nationals Park. Cubs lead the Pirates 3-2 in the 5th. Miami leads the Phillies 3-2. That game's in the 6th inning.
Miami was just wanting to get out of town. Got swept here. Didn't look good doing it. They had a team meeting. They already called a team meeting. Players only.
That one in the dirt. Plawecki's throw to second is in time. Simmons called out on a ball in the dirt. This one might be reviewed. A high tag as Freddie Gonzalez all the way out to second to talk with Vic Carapazza about the play at second base. Safer out.
Throw was high. Tag was high. There's reason to question that. Safe.
Will the Braves challenge the call? Apparently they will not. So Simmons thrown out at second base to send this to the bottom of the 6th inning. All New York in game 1. Of decision so far tonight, Joe. The Mets outburst Arturia to keep plays of the game.
Yeah, just all of a sudden, Trevor Cahill couldn't get the ball down. Look at the location of these pitches. That was the first one that was down, and probably should have been a double play, but wasn't because of the error. And it led to the end of Trevor's night here. Lagares came through with an RBI as well. 4 runs, 3 were earned.
And that'll bring on Brandon Kniff. This is game number 13 for the Braves. This is his 8th outing already.
And only 1 run allowed over that period. It was against Miami. They got a run off of him without benefit of a hit because of a couple of walks. Only in 1 game in Toronto, and that was 3 days ago. Just a third of an inning.
There's a strike. It's 2-1. Despite the heavy workload, the Braves bullpen's been excellent. 2.64 team relief ERA. Gotta hold him right here. That's not the way you want to start it. Campbell walks to lead off an inning for the 2nd inning in a row. Here's our Zaxby's indescribably good play. An unforgettable moment for the Mets rookie catcher.
Kevin Plawecki gets his first base hit out of the reach of Andrelton Simmons. itself, getting the ball by Simmons, worthy of getting the ball thrown out.
Well, now it's time for him to hit his first big league double play. He lined out in the second inning for the Mets. Popped him up. Freddie Freeman behind the first base bag is in foul ground, and he puts that away for the first out. Here's Wilmer Flores.
You mentioned the good work by the Braves bullpen, and it has been good, but they've also been worked. I think I read somewhere there's only 2 other staffs that have worked more innings in the Braves bullpen.
The Braves have had their share of 4 and 5 inning starts by their starters in the first couple of weeks. Hopefully Eric Stoltz can take it deep tomorrow night. One ball, no strikes for Flores. He'll pop up. Freeman staggers but makes the play.
Brandon Kenneth's fastball really gets on the hitters quickly. I think they're all a little bit surprised at how not necessarily sneaky quick, because that pitch was 93. But it gets in on him.
Big ovation for Jonathan Neese. Picked up his second RBI on a 5th inning ground ball that could have been a double play, but Phil Gosselin made an error. This may be a stretch, but when I see Brandon pitch, the first body image that comes to mind for me is Chris Medlin.
Yeah, built about the same.
Yeah. His cap is much more curved, though, than Chris's was. So that's the
great observation. Good scouting.
1 ball, 1 strike. Chris is with the Royals organization. He's continuing his comeback from Tommy John. I hope he comes back and has a great run with the Royals. He got a 2-year contract from them.
Brandon Beachy with the Dodgers as he continues his comeback efforts.
Three balls and a strike to the pitcher. Cahill had similar issues with Neese when he was in the game. That's ball 4.
To the pitcher.
Yep. Now Granderson bats. He picked up his first 2 RBIs of the year, and the 5th as well. Granderson reunited with Kevin Long, who is his hitting coach with the Yankees. Sure, Curtis longs for the short porch and right like he had in the Bronx. That's not the case in this mammoth ballpark.
No.
And Long helped the Yankees lead the majors in runs scored in 3 of his 7 years as their hitting coach. During his tenure, the Yankees led the majors in homers, RBIs, and were second in runs scored.
I have all the respect in the world for him. Let's also keep in mind that he had Teixeira, A-Rod, Derek Jeter, among others, in a 204-foot right field porch.
That went out to reach Bethancourt. Neese wandered too far off first. Snap throw down there. Close play, and he's just back in time.
Christian lucky that he got leather on it.
One ball, 1 strike. Pop up foul. the seats. Lined over second and off the glove of Gosselin. Here comes Campbell around third. He'll score without a play. And another leadoff walk comes back to haunt the Braves. It's 5-0. Big night for Granderson.
Yeah, he's broken out in a big way. 2 hits, 3 RBIs in the last 2 innings. Breaking ball. And the bad thing about this, great lead by Gosselin, but if he doesn't get leather on it, chances are real good the run doesn't score because Markakis is right there and the ball would have gotten to him quickly, but he slowed it down and that allowed Campbell to come around.
Lagares has an RBI hit and ball 1. Back toward us. Ball 1 strike. Two walks, 2 pop outs, and a single for the Mets in their 6th. It's 2-2. That bullpen is busy. Ace has been on the base pads a long while. Bell and Torres begin to loosen. Up the middle, Simmons gives ground, fields and fires to first in time, and that retires the side. The Mets cash in another leadoff walk and they add to their lead. Bottom of the order up for the Braves, down 5 now to New York.
Fox Sports celebrates 50 years of the Atlanta Braves.
Five nothing New York. It's gotten late quickly here in New York City. Braves fans haven't had a whole lot to cheer about. Started very encouragingly with Trevor Cahill. He had 4 scoreless innings of 1-hit ball working, but a leadoff walk in the 5th began an avalanche of runs against him, and that's been more than enough for Jonathan Neese, who's firing a 3-hit shutout through 6 and leads 5-0. Here in the 7th, Braves will have Gosselin. Looks like Eric Young Jr.'s grabbed a bat. He'll pinch hit for Kniff, and then Cameron Maybin. Grounding ball foul, 1 ball, 1 strike.
A return to New York for Eric Young Jr. Tell you, this Mets club has Mets fans fired up. They had huge crowds here over the weekend for Miami. Already had 2 sellouts in this homestand.
Campbell has been busy. He's got a good arm.
He's got a funny throwing motion. Almost like he's throwing uphill, but he gets it over there. Throws his head up.
Scattered applause for Eric Young Jr. As Joe said, back in New York. Sugar Ray Maramon will be next out of the Braves bullpen. Young hit .229 in 100 games with the Mets last year. And stole 30 bases. An on-base percentage of .299. Or is it short? And some early season glove and throwing troubles. None there. 2 outs. And as we go to the top of the order, it's time for our AT&T Uverse trivia question this evening. On this date in 1982, the Braves won their 13th straight game to start the season. Can you name the winning pitcher in '82?
Well, I believe they won in walk-off fashion. So it was probably a guy in the bullpen more than likely. When did Hraboski come to the club?
He was there. Rick Camp was on that club too.
Was Bruce Sutter there yet? I doubt it.
I think he was later. No,
Yeah.
Sutter wasn't there till later. Two quick strikes to Cameron Maybin. Neese has everything working tonight as that ball's hammered deep left. Kadire will turn and watch that one fly out of here. A line drive home run. I believe. Nope.
No, it was waved off.
I thought it got over the line. I think Maybin thought it got over the line too.
Yeah, they're gonna need to check this. Vic Carapazza again out at second base was out there and made the call. Jerry Meals is the crew chief. They're going to confer.
It was over the line, but not over the railing.
Yeah. The railing doesn't have a line on it. They're going to go check.
Yep. Boundary calls are reviewable, of course.
That hit the railing and then the padding.
That's what I saw first. Then on the ricochet, the ball came back on the field of play. So for the moment, Cameron Maybin standing out at second base.
Hopefully this will be a shorter home run trot, but one that's just as enjoyable. Yeah, hit the railing, bottom of the railing, and then the padding. I don't know how much gap there is between the two.
Should be a quick conversation. It's
Home
a home run. Yep. So Cameron Maybin will finish his trot His third homer of the year, and the Mets can't shut out the Braves tonight. It's a 5-1 game.
Got 3 homers, 2 off Nice.
So there's a start for the Braves with 2 outs. And it's 17 seconds, the official time on the review. Maben with a solo homer with 2 outs. Now Markakis bats. And up and in, ball 1.
Maben has one of the best trots from second base on a homer I've ever seen.
Mets pen continues to work. Maben celebrates his 3rd long ball of the year to make it 5-1. Right there, 2 balls and a strike. Told you earlier, Markakis is feasting against National League pitching, and he's always enjoyed hitting against the Mets, even during interleague play while with the Orioles. And he draws a base on balls. He has been on base almost every time up this entire road trip. And he's our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot subject tonight.
Now take a look at these numbers against the National League. .330, that's 3rd best among active players, and almost a .350 average against the Mets.
Big thumpers coming up for the Braves. Terry Collins will say, nice job, Jonathan Nice. Big crowd in New York enjoyed what he did tonight. He leaves with 2 outs in the 7th, and he enjoys a 4-run lead. We celebrate 50 years of Braves baseball in Atlanta with an unforgettable moment and an unforgettable call from Ernie Johnson Sr. 1982, the Braves won their 13th straight to start the year. Who was the winning pitcher?
You're going to say Rabasa?
I'll say Rabasa.
I'll say Rick Camp.
All right. Let's see if either one of us is right. And it was Rick Camp. This is Eric Goodell on to pitch for the Mets. It's been a while since he's been in a big league game. He last pitched on April the 11th against the Braves. Let's hope he's a little rusty. We got Gomes and Freeman coming up, but there are 2 outs. Cameron Maben home run ball with 2 outs is the only Atlanta run.
Maybe he's been under the weather or something because he didn't pitch poorly when he was in there.
Appeared in 6 games in September for the Mets last year. And it's all hands on deck for this injury-riddled Mets bullpen. And Gomes takes ball 3.
That'd be a quick way to get the Braves back in this one, is to put a couple more guys on base.
Alex Torres loosens in the Mets bullpen. If Gomes reaches, we'll certainly see him face Freddie Freeman. We'll see. 3-0 count. Well, decision time for Terry Collins. Goodell, a 4-pitch walk to Johnny Gomes. And the Mets skipper is making his way to the steps. And he is going to go bring on Torres.
Skipper not going to be happy with that one. Not a whole lot to say to Eric.
No. Torres versus Freeman in a 4-run game when we come back. Freeman is coming to the plate, and he will face left-hander Alex Torres. This is his 6th game, but Joe, he's known more for a bit of baseball history. He was the first relief pitcher to wear the new protective helmets, or the protective caps, I should say, that Major League Baseball allowed pitchers to wear beginning last year. It's a cap that has undergone a radical redesign, as you see. The newer model has the protective padding on the outside of the Major League Baseball cap. It's that padded halo that fits right on top of the brim of the cap.
It needs another radical redo.
Not a fan, huh?
That is horrible. There's the one last year that had the padding inside. It looks like, you know how the guys will play tricks on guys in the dugout, put a cup on their head?
Yeah.
It's like somebody in the dugout strapped that to his hat and said, don't tell him.
Well, Torres volunteered, for lack of a better way of putting it, to wear the cap because he saw Alex Cobb get hit with a batted ball while they were teammates with the Rays.
Yeah, I understand that, and I get it. But first of all, let's watch Freddie drive these runs in.
Ball 2.
Remember the old skull cap guys used to wear inside their cap before helmets really became fashionable or required? What's wrong with those?
2 balls, no strikes for Freeman. 2 on, 2 out, and a tomahawk high strike. Obviously, baseball wants to do everything they can to protect the pitchers, but form and functionality and design have not yet merged for the best effect, it would appear. Balls, 2 strikes.
I guess you can get used to anything. I can't believe it's not a horribly uncomfortable thing. You feel like you're walking around like that guy on the old Ed Sullivan Show trying to balance plates on your head.
Deuce is wild for Freeman. Holmes and Markakis aboard in the 7th. Strike 3 inside corner ends the inning. A 3-strikeout night for Freddie, and the Braves settle for 1 in the 7th. We stretch in New York, 5-1. Mets lead in Game 1.
Every day.
Rough night for Freddie Freeman at the plate tonight. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Took called strike 3 against Alex Torres with 2 on and 2 out in the 7th. And now down 5-1. Sugar Ray Marimon is back on the hill for the Braves. He'll pitch in his 3rd big league game tonight.
They took the loss in that one game the Braves lost in Toronto on the walk-off home run by Donaldson. So he'll try to get back on track. And that lengthy, long relief stint his first time out, that was a good one. And I believe that was against the Mets. That was actually against Miami. 4 innings, 2-run ball.
Yeah, he backed up Trevor Cahill, went 2 1/3 in his Braves debut. So here in the 7th, Duda, Kadire, and Murphy are coming up. And now Jerry Meals and Andy Fletcher are talking about something. I think I read Jerry's lips, said you can throw if you want to. Delay of some sort here.
Must be something pretty serious because the home plate umpire is walking all the way out to second base. You know, maybe the second base bag is loose.
Yep, that appears to be the case. So we wait for the Mets grounds crew to come out and repair second base. Get you caught up on the scores. Phillies lead Miami 4-3. Giancarlo Stanton hit another home run for the Marlins tonight into the Phillies bullpen. On the fly, the Marlins right fielder with a right center field blast, but the Phillies are beating them. The Marlins having an awful time in the first 2 weeks of the season. There's been some speculation that Mike Redmond's definitely on the hot seat. Word is that Wally Backman's name has been bandied about as a potential successor should Marlins decide to make a managerial change. And you have to wonder, with the mercurial nature of the Marlins owner and Jeffrey Loria how patient he will be with a ball club that many thought was going to be and still very well could be competing for a playoff spot in the National League East. Now the Phillies have made it a 6-3 game.
Yeah, the Marlins are denying that report that was in one of the newspapers down in Miami has any credence, but I tend to believe otherwise, that they won't wait too long to make a change there if they feel like it'll help the club.
So it's 6-3 Philadelphia over Miami. Pirates 5, Cubs 4 in the 6th inning. The Cubs brought up their young phenom infielder Addison Russell, who's making his big league debut tonight. The Cubs have all of their 25 and under young studs on the infield with Rizzo, Russell, who's going to play shortstop, Starlin Castro, and Chris Bryant, who's playing third base for them. Now they're going to have to break out the shims to try to tighten things up at second base.
Well, I don't know if the folks at home know this, but it's one of your favorite times of the game. Shimmy time. Apparently that whole base that is anchoring, that the base anchors into, is shifting. Maybe that'll keep it from twisting.
So there's your upcoming Braves schedule. This series continues on Sports South tomorrow night. Game 2, 6:30 with Braves Live. Eric Stoltz and Dylan G will hook up in the middle game of the set, and Thursday afternoon we wrap things up with Julio Teheran and Bartolo Colon. Then it's off to Philly for a weekend set with the Philadelphia Phillies.
Miller, Cahill, Wood, Miller, and Cahill scheduled pitchers in that series. Do they have enough shims there, Chip?
You should know by now, with my family, anytime there's shimmying, there's usually something hammered. So we're good to go, thank goodness. Wildwood in Milwaukee. Reds 4, Milwaukee 4. That game's in the 4th inning.
What it appeared there was that we're good enough to go.
Yeah, right. So Lucas Duda goes to work for the Mets. He's 0 for 3. The thing about Lucas Duda, another reason why he's off to such a good start and why the Mets are so encouraged about where he can take them this year. He did a lot of off-season conditioning work. He's a California kid, bought a house in Port St. Lucie, Florida, where the Mets have their spring training facilities. And he went to work every single day this offseason with a conditioning gentleman by the name of Mike Barmas. Agility, footwork, diet, all that stuff. And as a result, Duda's not just a lead-footed American League type guy who's going to run into a fastball and hit his 30 home runs. He's turned out to be a very good first baseman, much more agile. And as his conditioning coach said, he's gone from having a broken down Edsel body to the Ferrari body.
Yeah, he's a lot trimmer this time of year than he was last year.
So for the Mets, who really had a gut-wrenching decision to make about who was going to play first base going forward for them last year, Mike Davis or Lucas Duda, for now it appears they made the right decision. And he still looks like Brian McCann's twin brother.
Yeah, he could be.
Out of play and a full count. And ball 4. Young Braves bullpen's issuing its share of walks tonight.
And leadoff walks at that. Each of the last 3 innings and all outfield. The first two have scored.
Michael Kadyr's 0 for 2. He too has reached on a walk. Mets have talked a lot about their team, Joe, in the same way the Braves have of theirs. Different clubhouse atmosphere, veteran leadership, experience, professionalism. Michael Kadir certainly provides those qualities for New York. Boy, they got a scare too. Last week he got hit on the hand.
He did indeed, and everybody kind of cringed because he's had some injury problems in the past.
Ball, 1 strike. And way outside.
What a stop by Bethancourt. Goodness, that's one that one hops the wall usually.
Yep. Little pop. Gosselin drifts back. He'll make the one-handed catch for the inning's first out. Here's Murphy 0 for 3.
Bottom of their order today has done most of the damage from Campbell on down. A couple of walks, 2 hits, 3 walks in fact, 2 hits and an error. They get on base and Granderson's driven them in.
Ground ball foul. Murphy might have broken his bat. We talked about the East during spring training, and I think we were both in agreement that we felt the Mets were going to be drastically improved this year. Obviously, you get a guy like Matt Harvey back and Jacob deGrom going into his 2nd season as a major league starter. That's as good a 1-2 punch as there is in the National League. But Duda emerged. You hope David Wright can play 130 games or so. Adding Kadir, Granderson another year in the league. Lagares emerging. Well hit towards center. Made it on the run. Onto the warning track. He's got it. Murphy gave it a ride, but the big dimensions swallowed that up. 2 outs.
Yeah, their 1 and 2 are very strong. No doubt about it. And it depends on who your number 1 is.
Yeah,
it might be Bartolo Colon, because as we talked about in Atlanta, people around here keep saying there's an expiration date somewhere. It's just going to come up and bite Colon and the Mets, but so far so good. He's 3-0, and the Braves will see him here Thursday afternoon.
I just think if they had Zach Wheeler.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. Here's Campbell. And out of play for a strike. But look, it's been a long dry spell for the Mets here. 6 straight losing seasons for the New York National League Baseball Club. And this is an important year for their manager, Terry Collins. It's his final season under contract. To short. Frankly speaking, I don't know who could do a better job than what Terry Collins has done, considering the circumstances this Mets franchise has been in. He's got them rolling. They're on their way to their 9th straight win, barring a late comeback by the Braves.
Georgia Power, Bees, and Ram Trucks, Guts, Glory, Ram.
We head to the 8th. It's 5-1 from one Torres to another. Alex Torres pitched a third of an inning, struck out Freddie Freeman. Now Carlos Torres, the right-handed Torres, is on for New York, and he looks to improve on some shaky numbers in his first 7 games.
Yeah, this will be his 8th outing. 3 runs in 5 1/3 innings. Hasn't walked anybody, to his credit. 6 strikeouts.
Will face Chris Johnson, Andrelton Simmons, and Christian Bethancourt for the Braves. It's late, 5-1. Braves a run on 4 hits. 2 errors haven't helped. Braves had 1 error all year coming into play tonight. One by Chris Johnson on a throw, one by Phil Gosselin on what looked to be a double play ball. The Mets scored 4 runs in the 5th inning and added another in the 6th. No balls, 2 strikes.
Carlos Torres, good fastball, low 90s, 90 to 93, with a cutter and a curveball. You just saw the curve. A lot of cutters.
Not close. 2-2. Jonathan Neese started for the Mets. He's given up 1 earned run in his first 3 starts now for New York. Tipped and caught. Johnson's down swinging. Braves have 7 strikeouts as an offense in 7 1/3 innings tonight. 1 away for Simmons. For Neese, by the way, that's 33 of 36 starts. He's allowed 3 or less earned.
And 7 straight of 2 or less.
Andrelton has one of the 4 Braves hits tonight. He's also walked. So he'll take a 5-game hit streak into play tomorrow night. And a strike.
So far, so good for Kevin Plawecki, the catcher. First big league hit. And his team's ahead, so he did a good job behind the plate tonight for Jonathan Neese.
Yeah, we didn't see him shake him off much tonight.
He didn't have time. I mean, he was working so fast.
Yeah.
You're right. He just put a sign down and go.
But you can tell he's a rookie. He doesn't have his official headgear custom painted. You know, some kind of logo or design like hockey players do. That's a ground ball to first. Should be easy for Duda, and it is. There's the second out. $21,033 the official attendance tonight for Game 1. That's trying to go 8-0 at home in their 9th consecutive game. Christians fly to right 3 times tonight.
coming into this game, their starters were 9-2 with a 2.84 ERA. So if this holds up, Nice gets the win, they'll be 10-2 with an even lower ERA. And a 9-game winning streak would be almost 2 whole turns through the rotation. So 1 through 5 has been getting it done for him.
Yep, Harvey's 3-0, Colon is 3-0, DeGrom is 2-1. Nice on his way to a 2-0 start. 2 pitch. Back where it came from. Torres with a nice pick at the shoe tops. And he works a perfect 8th inning. 3 up, 3 down for the Braves. Bottom of the 8th inning. New York leads at 5-1.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Atlanta Braves and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Atlanta Braves.
There's the snazzy signature of the 10th commissioner of Major League Baseball, Robert Manfred. As we battle on in New York, Sugar Ray Marimon on for his 2nd inning of work. 5-1. The Mets have a big lead. And the lower third is up for New York. This is Kevin Plawecki, the rookie catcher. Picked up his first big league hit, scored his first big league run in a 4-run Mets 5th. That was enough for Jonathan Nice as the Mets chased Trevor Cahill. And he's got a second big league hit.
Young man's had a good night. When I said earlier that he might put some pressure on that guy, Travis d'Arnaud, the point that I was trying to make is that he's a good catch and throw guy. He's not great, but he's probably better than d'Arnaud, who led the league in pass balls last year, which if Plawecki can prove that he can hit at this level a little bit, he may wind up moving d'Arnaud to another position, maybe to the outfield.
I think when we were here last year, one of the New York writers, and I can't remember who it was, suggested that might be something the Mets consider. To the point you mentioned, d'Arnaud can hit. He's always been able to hit.
Yeah.
Wilmer Flores down a strike. He is singled and scored tonight. He's got a 4-game streak. Good pitch tied him up. 0-2. Reds lead Milwaukee 8-4 in the 4th. Real oddity in that game. You should see a nasty pitch. Mike Fiers is the Brewers' starting pitcher tonight. He surrendered 2 grand slams in the game. Slow roller toward short. Tricky hop, and Simmons can't come up cleanly. That ball was spinning merrily, and all hands are safe. That's an infield hit.
That'll go as a base hit, and I think Andrelton, when he was sweeping in here, he was trying to backhand this ball. He just didn't get down low enough because his only play was going to be to first base.
So Danny Muno is going to pinch hit. He made his major league debut pinch hitting in the 7th inning on April 17th and got his first big league hit. You know who the last Met was to pick up a hit in his first big league at bat?
Pitcher
Jacob deGrom. He was an 8th round pick in 2011 for New York. An inside corner strike. Danny's out of El Segundo, California. Baltimore High School and Fresno State.
Somehow a Sugar Ray Maramon and this Danny Munoz sounds like a welterweight bout out in Vegas.
High fly ball to right. Markakis retreats. He's got room. And tagging at second is Plawecki, and he'll make it without a play. More productive out. First and third, and back to the top of the order in Curtis Granderson. Big night for Granderson. No RBIs in the first 13 games for the Mets. He's got 3 tonight. Singles his last 2 times up. Strike 1.
Granderson picks that front foot up and puts it right back down, but he does it as the pitcher picks up his front foot. He does it real early.
Little pop down the left field line. Long run, Gomes. He can't get there. That's going to bounce into the stands for a rule book double. On 4 RBI night for Curtis Granderson. And runners are at second and third as Plawecki comes home to score. It's 6-1 Mets.
Curtis Granderson did not have an RBI in their first 13 games. 4 tonight. With that leadoff man reaching again. Each the last 4 innings, and he's scored 3 times.
Atlanta's infield comes in for Juan Lagares. He wants to get greedy. He's knocked in a run tonight. Has 6 in total for the season. Ball, no strikes. Phillies beat Miami. That's a final 7-3. Citizens Bank, that's where we head next. Phillies are 5-9. The Marlins have lost 5 in a row. They're 3-11 now.
Nobody expected that kind of a start from Miami.
No.
Braves started the season by sweeping them down in Miami, and they haven't recovered.
You're having team meetings in the first week and a half of the season. Players only meeting. That's not a good sign.
No, it's not.
The 2-0 pitch. Garris is hit a mile high and shallow left. Gomes is charging in. Maven's going to call him off. Cameron's got it. Runner tags. Here comes the throw to plate. Bethancourt can't handle it. It's up the line. And it's sacrifice fly for Juan Lagares. He's got a 2 RBI game. Flores scores. It's 7-1 Mets. Bottom of the order getting on, the top of the order knocking him in. That's the recipe for New York tonight. Now Lucas due to the batter. 2 in, 2 out for the Mets first baseman, who was 0 for 3.
That play that just occurred, Maven had a lot longer to come to get this ball, but then he just stopped. All the momentum he had coming to the ball, he just stopped and stepped behind himself and lost all momentum, and his throw was off the mark and late, and he wasn't that deep. He didn't use any of that. He didn't use any of his momentum that he had built up coming to the ball to help him get off a stronger throw, because once he caught it, he just stopped.
That's a lost art, it seems, at times in the big leagues now. Outfielders with proper throwing mechanics.
Yeah, a lot of bad footwork everywhere.
Duda has an even count. Approach 9:45 Eastern time. One ball, one strike. In the dirt. 0-2. Relief Corps has walked 4 men. Full count. Right on it. Another 3-2 count. Curtis Granderson with a 3-hit, 4 RBI night. Hitting star for the Mets this evening.
Pitch there from Sugar Ray. Down and in against a guy who's a good down and in hitter. It might have been up just enough to tie him up where he couldn't get the barrel on it.
He missed the inside edge.
PNC, thanks pitching performance. Let's see. Duda stood there for a long time in case Jerry Meals rang this one up, which he should have done.
So 2 are on with 2 out, and Michael Kadire is up again. All no strikes.
Braves have left 9 men on base tonight. But it seemed like every time they had something going, it was always with 2 out.
Dyer's out of Chesapeake, Virginia. 2-time All-Star. And in the air to center, it should be handled by Cameron Maben, and that will send our game to the top of the 9th inning. Mets add a pair in the 8th. They extend their lead. It's now 7-1.
By the Georgia Lottery and Toyota.
CPI Security Game Summary after 8. Not good news for the Braves in Game 1 tonight.
We were zipping right along, had a great game going to the bottom of the 5th inning. Trevor Cahill had a 1-hit shutout working into the bottom of the 5th. He walked the leadoff man, and then 2 singles, an error, 2 more singles. Resulted in a 4-run inning, and the Mets haven't looked back.
Defensive changes for the Mets. Kirk Neuenhuis takes over for Michael Kadire in left field. And Sean Gilmartin is on to pitch. This is his 5th game, and Terry Collins was very frank after Jerry Blevins got hurt. Some of these left-handers in the bullpen, young kids, they got to step up. No choice. Chance for Gilmartin to tune up. Memory serves, he gave the Braves fits down in Atlanta.
And he pitched well. Made his major league debut at Turner Field in a Mets uniform after being a first-round draft pick by the Braves.
Martin, the 5th Met pitcher to toil tonight. A line drive off the glove of Lucas Duda the other way, and a good start for the Braves in the 9th inning. Gosselin has a hit, his 2nd of the season, and Alberto Callaspo will pinch hit.
Baseball fought off just enough.
Espo 2 for 13 on the trip. Struck out twice on Saturday, the first time he'd struck out in 34 plate appearances this year. After striking out just once in nearly 70 at bats this spring.
1 for 2 as a pinch hitter.
And that's high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, you get a couple of guys on, then you start heading into the heart of the order. That part of it's the good news. The bad news is it's a 6-run 9th inning deficit.
Yeah, those add-on runs that we have talked about a lot in the past, when you have a big inning, sometimes your offense can kind of go to sleep. Mets didn't do that. They got 3 more runs to add to that 4-run 5th.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Toward third. Campbell's got it. There's 1. There's 2. Braves down to their last out. They also have Cameron Maben up, who's our great clip of the game.
You got Jonathan Nice again. 3 homers on the year, 2 off Nice. This one just barely cleared the line, hit off the railing. Umpires had to look at it. But it was indeed a home run.
And as you said, the best trot from second base on a
best
home
I've ever seen
in big league baseball. Ball 1 low. Hope for better tidings tomorrow night. Stoltz and Dylan G. Braves live at 6:30. First pitch 7:10. Game 2 of this 3-game set.
If there's been a guy that's been a disappointment for the Mets in the rotation so far, it's been Dylan G. 1-1 with a 7.59 ERA. There's the PNC pitching performance. G, 10 2/3 innings, 13 hits and 9 runs. 3 homers. It's not like him.
One ball, 2 strikes. Popped up. Duda's got room. He's in. Fair ground, and the Mets have won 9 in a row. They thumped the Braves tonight by a final score of 7-1. The Mets maintain their undefeated record at home. They're now 8-0 here at Citi Field. And in 2 hours and 41 minutes, Jonathan Nice has won his 2nd decision of the year. 7-1 your final. Back to recap it in New York in a minute.